master had actually the master. So the other India.
This is why we see that we are in the market representatives. What we're trying to do here is to create opportunities for our customers, both geographically by giving them a sense of
Karibu Bwana Mwenyekiti.
Dear shareholders, directors of the KCB Group Board and subsidiaries, invited guests, KCB management and staff members, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you all to the 41st Annual General Meeting of the KCB Limited. This forum, dear shareholders, provides you as shareholders an opportunity to hear from the board how the bank performed in 2011 and provide future direction to the business in the coming year. It is my hope that you have all read the published chairman's and CEO's statements in the annual report and the financial statements for 2011 available on the KCB website and also in limited number of hard copies in this venue. I would like to open my remarks by stating that 2011, that is last year, the year that we are reviewing, was a very successful year for the bank in spite of the tough competition in the market and the impact of unstable macroeconomic conditions brought about by drought, a sharp rise in global oil and food prices. This resulted in unprecedented rise in interest rates across the board. Despite this, KCB registered a major milestone in its 115 years history by posting very good results that were well received in the market. The bank set new records with its 2011 financial results, becoming the #1 bank in East and Central African region. These records include being the #1 bank in profits, #1 bank in assets, #1 bank in capital base, #1 bank in branch network, and #1 regional bank with operations in 6 countries. In 2011, dear shareholders, the bank posted a record pre-tax profit of Kenya shillings 15.1 billion, reflecting a 54% growth compared to Kenya shillings 9.8 billion in 2010, a clear reflection of stakeholder confidence in good leadership at board and management levels, and indeed the support by you shareholders and all the other stakeholders. As expected, this has been a huge impact on the value of KCB shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, that is NSE, which traded on average between Kenya shillings 16.85 and Kenya shillings 21.75 in the course of 2011. This year, KCB opened with a share price of Kenya shillings 16.80, and to date it accounts for 34.1% of the US $76.6 million total foreign inflow at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and it gained 42.4% to outperform all other banks, and indeed is currently trading at Kenya shillings 24. This is good news for shareholders, as it means that the total value of your investment has risen significantly in the past 1 year. KCB market value has increased by over Kenya shillings 23 billion since January 2012. Now I'll talk something that you are all aware, and where you have really given us a lot of support, and that is the transformation agenda which we have been going through. These strong results and achievements mirror the concerted efforts that the board, management, and you, dear shareholders, have put into the business over the last 12 months. The bank initiated the transformation program in the year 2010, that is, of moving the bank from good to great. That is now yielding very positive results to the business. We have always regarded KCB as a good bank, but with its potential, we needed to move to great from good. The objective for the implementation of this transformation agenda is to move the bank, as I have said, from good to great. And this, I emphasize, is now yielding very positive results to the business. The objective for the implementation of the transformation agenda were mainly twofold. First, it was to enable KCB fully exploit its great potential for the benefit of the shareholders, and secondly, to leave a legacy of excellence all around in business performance and governance. As your chairman for the last 4 years, that is since 2008, I'm delighted that the bank has made tremendous progress towards excellence. I would like to refer you particularly to page 5 of the annual report and look at the story that is told there graphically, which speaks for itself. Profit before tax, you will find, grew by over 150% from Kenya shillings 6 billion to Kenya shillings 15.1 billion. Earnings per share rose by 153% from Kenya shillings 1.47 per share to Kenya shillings 3.72 per share. Dividend, and I can see everybody is particularly interested in this. The dividend per share increased by 164% from Kenya shillings 70 cents to Kenya shillings 185 per share. Even another very important area is return on assets increased from 2.1% to 3.3%. Another aspect which is very crucial is that all our subsidiaries turned around from a loss-making position to a profit of Kenya shillings 1.1 billion and a good performance of our shares. This is a very significant achievement by the bank by any standards. Dear shareholders, in line with the transformation program, which is in its second year, the bank rolled out business improvement initiatives to accelerate growth, enhance productivity, and increase shareholder value. At the end of this transformation program, KCB will embrace its space as a more globally competitive a first-class bank among its peers within the East and Central Africa region, and indeed throughout Africa and globally. Now something, dear colleagues and shareholders, on profitability, which I have already alluded to, but I would like to give some more details. During the year 2011, KCB recorded a record profit before tax of 15.1 billion. I have said reflecting a 54% growth in pre-tax profits over 2010. The impressive performance was underpinned by the bank's total operating income that grew to shillings 36.5 billion from Kenya shillings 29.3 billion, a 25% improvement. Our total operating expenses went up, as expected, by 19% only, from Kenya shillings 18.7 billion to Kenya shillings 22.3 billion last year, due mainly, and this is something that is very crucial in a business, particularly in today's world, due to investment in information technology, processes, and a one-off restructuring costs amounting to Kenya shillings 1.6 billion. The impressive performance, as mentioned earlier, was due to the transformation initiatives implemented and contributed to increased revenues. Transformation agenda contributed to increased market share and efficiency in cost management, and so on. In addition, and this is again an emphasis, strong investment in our regional businesses, which are very highly represented here, contributed to a significant turnaround, and all subsidiaries reported profits in the year 2011. I know in the past this has always been an issue, but through transformation, we were able to make it so as to meet your expectations. In the first quarter of 2012, this momentum was strengthened further when the bank reported a pre-tax profit of Kenya shillings 3.4 billion in the year 2012 compared to Kenya shillings 2.5 billion in the previous year. As a board of directors throughout the region, we are confident that the bank will continue to achieve excellent results in line with our expectations for this year. On the balance sheet, dear shareholders, the bank's balance sheet has tremendously grown over the years from Kenya shillings 251.4 billion in 2010 to Kenya shillings 330.7 billion in year 2011. During the first quarter of 2012, that is this year, the figure was 334 billion, that is in March 2012, in comparison to 271 billion in 2011. On key items, customer deposits jumped from Kenya shillings 197 billion in 2010 to Kenya shillings 259 billion in 2011. The figure has now grown to over Kenya shillings 260 billion, a big achievement once again. Now, I would like to mention something else which is very, very important, because we have to be at the best of terms with the regulators. Following the good performance and a strong balance sheet, KCB continues to enjoy healthy prudential ratios And I'm happy to report that, that we are all in compliance. All the ratios are in compliance with the Central Bank of Kenya and the other regulators where we operate in Tanzania, South Sudan, Uganda, and Rwanda. Let me now talk a bit about dividends. As a result of this good performance that I have articulated, the Board of Directors is recommending to the shareholders in today's meeting a dividend payout of Kenya shillings 5.5 billion, which is 49% higher than Kenya shillings 3.7 billion paid out in the year 2010. This translates into Kenya shillings 1.85 per ordinary share, and is significantly above the Kenya shillings 1.25 per share paid last year. This is a reward to our loyal shareholders who have supported this business throughout the extremely difficult but most fulfilling transformation period. Dear shareholders, in the international business, we are excited with the progress we are making in growing our business across East and Central Africa region. All our subsidiaries in the markets, again it is to emphasize, returned good profits and have embraced and implemented the transformation initiatives. KCB Tanzania reported a profit before tax, shillings 46.5 million. KCB Uganda registered profit before tax of shillings 26.7 million. Rwanda, KCB similarly registered a profit before tax of Kenya shillings 117.7 million. Lastly, KCB Sudan, call it South Sudan, but we are in the process of changing it to South Sudan, registered a profit before tax of Kenya shillings 864 million. The positive signs of recovery recorded in our international business and their profitable performance has positively contributed to last year's impressive results. Dear shareholders and other stakeholders, the KCB Group is present, as you are aware, in 6 countries, with a total number of branches at record 223, as represented by Kenya 169, Tanzania 11, South Sudan 19, and we cover all the states of South Sudan. In Kenya, we cover all the 47 counties. Uganda, we have 14. Rwanda, we have 9. And most recently, within this month, Burundi, which has 1 branch. The expansive branch network is complemented by over 920 ATMs across the region that offer 24-hour access to its quick serve services and over 2,600 KCB Mtaani agents. I have just said that our latest addition into the KCB family is KCB Bank Burundi. This was launched 2 weeks ago on 8th May 2012 in Bujumbura, and it was graced by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi. This is a major milestone for the bank this year, as we proudly become the only indigenous bank in Kenya to have a regional presence in 6 countries. Subsequently, adding to our presence, KCB is the only bank that is providing a one-branch banking platform on a seamless model in all the markets in which we operate. Now, I would like to turn to something that is very dear to KCB called governance. KCB is committed to world-class standards of corporate governance, which we set in accordance with international best practice. Last year, we reviewed the organizational structure of the bank to make it more efficient in supporting the bank's business and growth strategies. Hence, in mid-2011, this ushered a new senior management appointments that were approved by the regulators in all the countries. The group's ExCo committee is now made up of only the chief executive, the chief financial officer, the chief operating officer, the chief business officer Kenya, the chief business officer international, the chief risk officer, and the company secretary. This is the best practice where you should have 7 to about 9 in the ExCom. Before restructuring, we had 23 in the executive committee. Let me add here that this is a lean and high-performing team, highly motivated, that has been put in place by the board of directors in line with the transformation agenda. Please join me in congratulating the senior management team above on their respective appointments. Let me add that the team has full confidence as it embarks on the journey of implementing the KCB Group initiatives of moving from good to great as an organization. Another major milestone is that all our subsidiaries' board structures are in place to manage the bank's business prudently, and the board committees have also been appointed, they are in place, and they have been empowered to oversee the critical areas of the business. As you are also aware, something else that is crucial is we are also working on our headquarters, where we shall be able to shift from Kencom to Upper Hill, where with the funds of the pension schemes, we are putting up a modern, environmentally sustainable building where the bank will be moving next year. This will be about 24, 25 stories, and it is going to give a lot of mileage going forward. That is also a part of our transformation agenda. And now I'll also talk about what we are going to be discussing later about retirement of directors and what I have said about governance. In accordance with the bank's board charter, 3 of your directors who are with us here today, namely Susan Kirote Omanga, if you can stand up, Sunil Nashicha, and myself, Peter Wanyaga Muthoka, will retire at the end of this AGM from the board, having served satisfactorily the KCB board for the maximum period of 8 years. The said board charter that we have put in place will mean that this will ensure that we observe all the tenets of good corporate governance, retire, you leave a legacy, you move on, and you let other people come. So that is very crucial, and we hope that we can entrench this throughout our region. There is also another slight change within the board. Following the departure from the bank of the former director in charge of group finances in May 2011, the Chief Financial Officer, Joshua Nyamweya Oigara, was recruited and was appointed to the board to occupy a casual vacancy, and he will be presenting himself today for election. Can we look at the Chief Financial Officer? That is Joshua Nyamweya Oigara, recruited competitively, fairly, as is usual in KCB. On the KCB Foundation, which is the foundation which administers our major program called Corporate Social Responsibility Program, and chaired by Mrs. Susan Omanga, has continued to provide leadership and guidance in this area for community social development, and annually has approved funds to support the needs of deserving communities across the region. In the past 5 years, the foundation has invested over Kenya shillings 400 million shillings to support community initiatives in Kenya, that is throughout Kenya, and the markets in which we operate. We participate in the area of corporate social responsibility in 5 thematic areas, in the areas of health, education, entrepreneurship, environment, and human intervention or humanitarian intervention. Now, the other very important thing I would like to draw to the shareholders who are our employers is about our awards and recognition, which we have always been putting in the papers, in the radio, and so on. During the year, KCB received, and in fact continues to receive, a lot of awards and recognition in the banking industry, where last month KCB received 9 awards for its distinguished achievements. Indeed, this recognition shows the growing confidence of the market in KCB. We share the joy with all of you, shareholders, for your contribution to this achievement. On future outlook 2012, the bank remains very optimistic about the regional economies in steering the group to bring about greater growth and profitability. The board has major plans to make KCB one of the largest banks in the continent and beyond, but whenever we go in for any addition, branch or subsidiary, I can assure you on your behalf, we undertake a lot of feasibility study, and we go in only where there are glaring opportunities, and where we are going to have that bank or that subsidiary return profits to the benefit of the shareholders. Finally, I'm truly indebted to our shareholders, that is to you all, whether you are here or wherever you are, if you're in Madeira or Lunga, Border Point 1, or you are somewhere in Arusha, or in Kigali, or in Juba, or Bay, or in Bujumbura, we thank you very much. Some of our shareholders are also all over the world. We thank you very much, shareholders, our customers, the media, the community, and all stakeholders for your contribution in making KCB such a great business. I want to thank you all for the cooperation and support you accorded to me during the period under review and as your group chairman for the last 4 years and as a director since I joined this bank in year 2004. I would like also to thank my fellow directors for their selfless contribution to the business over the past year and for supporting the bank. The management and staff put in a lot of effort to produce these impressive results. And I would like to most sincerely thank them, all of them, for this achievement. You are aware we have about 5,000 staff again distributed all over Eastern Africa. These are the people who make you proud, and we are also very proud to say you are our employers and you have been extremely good. At this stage, I would like to take a minute or two to introduce to you the board directors who have really been providing the strategic guidance, who have been making sure that they have oversight and they observe the corporate governance. I'll start with the KCB Kenya and start with Mr. Joseph Kenywa, who is represented by Protas Sigei. Yeah, thank you very much. Peter Kiko Kemoyo. Yeah, that is Professor Peter Kiko Kemoyo. Mrs. Susan Omanga, there she is. Mr. Sunil Nasha. Engineer Musa Deto. Mr. Joseph Isaac Adogo. I also bring you apologies from Mrs. Catherine Adogo Kola, who is out of the country. Mr. Ngeni Biwot. Dr. Martin Oduotieno. Mr. Joshua Oigara. And the group company secretary, Kiprop Malakwen. That is the main board. Then, according to the way we were established, we have KCB Bank Tanzania Limited, established in 1997. We have the chairman, Dr. Edmund Mudolwa. We have Honorable Catherine Kemura, Mr. Ngeni Biwot, Mr. Joshua Moiro, Mr. Nikubuka Chimwela, Mr. Nemehia Muchechu, Madam Suhura Muro, Dr. Martin Oduotieno, and Mr. Moez Ma. Yeah, that is Tanzania. Then from there we proceeded to the Republic of South Sudan. Chairman, Engineer Musa Deto. Madam Ya Manoa Majoka Deng, apologies. She couldn't make it, but she is with us in spirit. Mr. Jacinto Pukon Nyenye. Mr. Abros Mouthik. Dr. Festus Abdulazaz James. Mr. James Agini, who is undertaking a study in Harvard. Mr. John Kimanthi. Then we go to KCB Uganda, Mr. Samuel Joke, Chairman, Mrs. Susan Omanga, Mr. David Nyende, Madam Florence Carter, Dr. Jeff Sebuyira Mukasa, Mr. Abbott Odogo, Mr. Martin Owini. Thank you. And then we go to KCB Rwanda. Again, Professor Peter Kiko Kimuyu. Apologies from Mr. Faustin Bundu, Madam Sarah Mukadutie, Madam Anne Kerema, apologies, Mr. Daniel Zitunga, Madam Sipicio Ayinkamile, and Mr. Maurice Toroitish. The secretary to that board is Mrs. Gladys Biama. Yeah, thank you very much. Then our latest member of the families, we have Mr. Joseph Adogo is the chairman. Mrs. Catherine Adogo Kola, a member. And we are in the process of establishing, getting directors from Burundi. We have Mrs. Gloria Nyabok as the MD. Then we have the KCB Foundation, Sue Omanga, Mrs. Grace Akumu. Yeah, thank you very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm confident that with your support, we have the capacity, resources, and resolve to make this bank great today and in the years to come. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Nikijitayarisha kumwita mkurugenzi mtendaji, kuna tangazo maalum hapa. Kuna kadi ya uraia wa Kenya kwa jina la Lucy Muthoni Nguki, nambari 5153581 toka sanduku la posta 118 Murang'a. Mkurugenzi mtendaji aje pia atueleze mawili matatu kuhusu utendaji kazi na uwajibikaji wa wafanyakazi na wakurugenzi. Karibu.
Dear shareholders, KCB Group Chairman Peter Muthoka, directors of KCB Group Board and subsidiaries, KCB staff and management, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The KCB Group Chairman, Peter Muthoka, has spoken about the economic environment in which we did business last year, in 2011, and the progress that the bank realized with the implementation of the transformation initiatives. Let me therefore just give you a very quick update on the performance of your business so far in 2012. Overall, business activities are improving following macroeconomic pressures experienced in the latter part of 2011. Inflation has been declining in the first few months of 2012. The shilling exchange rate has been stabilizing against major international currencies, rather than the last week when we've seen it beginning to move the other way again. As a group, KCB has remained optimistic
that business confidence in the economy is improving. During the first quarter of 2012, I'm pleased to say that the momentum of our excellent performance in 2011 continues to reflect in the financial results we released in April for the period to 31st March 2012. As the chairman has indicated, we recorded a 35% increase in pre-tax profit, up from 2.5 billion the previous year to 3.4 billion for the first 3 months of this year. Our business, reflected through our total assets, rose to 334 billion, which is a growth of 23% from 271 billion in the same period in 2011. This is a significant improvement on the group's balance sheet as we continue to support our regional corporate business, our mortgage financing, and our network expansion. The impressive first quarter results can be attributed to the ongoing product and services innovations that the bank continues to implement seamlessly across the group, as well as operational efficiencies arising from various transformation initiatives across the business. In the area of service delivery and product innovation, since last year, KCB Group has continued to maintain its competitiveness by introducing a number of products and repackaging other service offerings to meet customer lifestyle requirements at all levels. We started the year by leveraging innovation through implementation of technology-driven products such as mobile banking, internet banking, and agent banking as value-added propositions to our customers. Indeed, our agent banking channel network, which is very popular in both urban and rural areas, has now grown to just under 3,000 outlets, and we intend to double this number by the end of this year. In the period under review, and on the back of these innovations, we have used our expansive branch network and integrated marketing campaigns, which I'm sure our shareholders have seen, to continue to drive customer deposits so that we can grow our book more. In the Eastern Africa region, we are working with the various institutions to foster more effective partnerships for growth and development and provide requisite financial resources to enable them execute their mandates. Through our unique core banking platform, which we installed 4 years ago, we are committed to ensuring that our regional customers enjoy banking without boundaries, hence facilitating regional trade and financial intermediation. The KCB brand, shareholders, remains very strong in the East Africa region. The strength of the brand is partly due to the visibility created through investor and customer relationships, as well as by sponsorship activities, including the KCB East African Rally Challenge, the KCB East Africa Golf Tour, the KCB Athletics, cross-country championships, and a number of other initiatives. It is our intention to continue these sponsorships and enter new partnerships in other countries where we operate, hence promoting KCB Group in line with our vision, which is to be the preferred financial solutions provider in Africa with global reach. In the area of employee productivity and development, the KCB Group is today an employer of choice with close to 5,000 employees in the 6 countries in which we operate, that is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Burundi. We have continued to provide training and development opportunities for employees at our KCB Leadership Center here in Karen in Nairobi. During the course of the year, we invested over 3 million shillings to put up an ultra-modern in-house training facility at Kencom House, our headquarters, which is accessible to all employees from their workstations in whichever country they are at their convenience. This model was adopted after we looked at our business geographical spread and work schedules to allow staff training and learning regardless of their work location. This new facility is now accessible by members of staff in the 6 countries where we operate at their convenience, and it complements our regular training programs. In the area of sustainability and the environment, we have so far, as you'll recall, produced 2 KCB sustainability reports which detail our performance in the pillars of economy, the environment, and society. We have continued to seek long-term business sustainability by contributing towards economic, social, and environmental issues that add value to our stakeholders. Our financial results for 2011 demonstrate our contribution in the economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I'd like to pay tribute to all our stakeholders who have shown commitment and loyalty to the business over the years. Your endorsement of our business to take it to the next level has enabled us to give shareholders a better return on the investment. On our part, as management and staff, we shall continue to attract more recognition in this business through exemplary performance. Our performance this year in 2012 will be driven by innovation, technology-savvy products, improved customer service, and the other transformation initiatives. KCB will continue to work towards making our bank unrivaled in delivering service in all the countries we operate in Eastern Africa. Let me, before I end, invite you shareholders to join me in paying special tribute to our Group Chairman, Peter Muthoka, to Directors Sunil Shah and Susan Omanga, who are retiring from KCB Board after 8 years of exemplary service, and to wish them well as they continue to serve our countries and the region in different capacities. I'd like us to give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Eight years is not a short time. If you look at page 5 of your books, if you look at the graphs and the growth in this business, the 3 directors have been very much a part of that growth and have played a tremendous role. So we do owe them as a KCB Group tribute as they move on. I'd like finally, ladies and gentlemen, to thank you all, our shareholders, to thank you, Board of Directors, to thank all our staff and all our stakeholders for your support in 2011. I'd like, before I sit down, to introduce the senior members of management who are here. If they would come forward, first the executive committee, if you could just come up quickly and just stand so that I can introduce you to our shareholders for whom you have worked with devotion more than 24 hours every day during 2011 to produce the sterling results that we are presenting here today. We have from the extreme left, Mrs. Rose Kinuthia, who is the Chief Risk Officer, making sure that the bank is under proper control. Thank you, Rose. We have Peter Kimondo. Peter Kimondo was appointed as part of the restructuring last year as Chief Business Officer for Kenya. So he looks after all the businesses in Kenya, the corporate business, the retail business, the mortgage business, as well as the marketing function. Thank you, Peter. Next to him is Paul Tikani. Paul is the Chief Operating Officer. Paul looks after, makes sure that all our systems are working as they should. He's in charge of technology, he's in charge of operations, He's in charge of logistics in the bank, among other functions. Next is Joshua Nyamwea Oigara. Joshua, again, joined the bank in the last 8 months as Chief Financial Officer and is doing a sterling job for us, making sure that the finance function, the strategy function is all being managed properly. And last but not least is KD Malakwen Kiprop. Kiprop is no stranger to you. You've known him over the years, our company secretary and chief legal officer. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And of course, I'm also part of this team, so you can clap for me also. Let me also introduce the other senior managers who are here, divisional directors, if you could come up again so that I can quickly introduce you, because the team that I've introduced, of course, works through other people. We have 5,000 people in the bank, and we've got to make sure that all the functions are properly covered. So supporting the team that you saw is Tom Kiai, who is a finance director. Thank you, Tom. Maurice Toroitich is the managing director of KCB Bank Rwanda. John Kimanthi is managing director of KCB Bank South Sudan. Gloria Nyambok is the managing director of KCB Bank Burundi. Joram Kiarie is the director in charge of mortgages, our mortgage business. He was previously managing director of our business in Tanzania up to last year. Thank you, Joram. Wilfred Sang is director of credit, so he makes sure that all the loan applications, only the good ones go through, the bad ones don't go through at all. Next is Angela Mwirigi. Angela is in charge of our marketing function. Again, she joined us in the last 8 months. So again, if you see all the adverts and all the promotions going on, this is the work that Angela is leading in the bank. Anastasia Kimtai. Anastasia is the director in charge of retail banking in Kenya. So all the 170 branches in Kenya report into Anastasia. She's been in KCB for a long time. She was previously our regional manager in Coast region in Mombasa, and as part of the restructuring, has now taken up that new role. John Mark Wandolo is corporate director. Roy Akala is the director in charge of operations in the bank, supporting Paul Tikani. Shalin Gudka, again, joined us in the last 8 months. He is the director in charge of treasury, operations, treasury function in the bank. Fred Mutiso is the director in charge of audit, so he makes sure that, again, everything is as it should be in terms of compliance. Francis Gituro is the director in charge of IT, technology. Again, Gituro has been around in the bank and again moved up following the restructuring activities last year. Robert Ochola. Robert is the director in charge of innovation and strategy. So some of the new developments you are seeing in technology, mobile banking, etc., is the work of happening in the laboratory that Robert is running with his colleagues. James Asiko is the director in charge of logistics. Albert Odongo is managing director of KCB Bank Uganda. Moez Mir is managing director of KCB Bank Tanzania. And last, Charles Maranga is the director in charge of human resources, so all our employee welfare. And Martin Owin is executive director in KCB Bank Uganda. I think that is, so that's the team that supports the executive committee. So thank you very much, colleagues. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody up there. So really what remains for me once again is just to thank you for your support in 2011, and I look forward to your continued support in 2012 so that we can deliver a bigger business in 2012. Thank you all very much, and God bless you.